From wherever in the world you're watching or listening to us, thank you for being such a valued part of the Great British Mickey Waffle. With so many people joining us for the first time, possibly maybe even for the last time last week, but record numbers for a midweek show. We just love to start by just saying thank you. We appreciate you giving up your time to join us, and welcome to another Disney versus Universal matchup of theme park rides. It's going to be fun. And welcome to the Great British Mickey Waffle live.
Now my wheels in motion and my windows open with the wind blowing in my hair. I'm driving down the highway, gonna do this my way. I can feel it in the air. Here
There you go. Excellent.
Thought you that.
Robin is on brand tonight. Are we sponsored by, what was it, Tampa Airport?
Yes,
Flamingo World, but
Tampa
we
Airport.
totally should be.
If anyone noticed from last week's show to this week's show, I pressed the wrong intro.
Yes,
Yes, you
I
did.
noticed that as well.
It's
Ben.
very good, but it was the wrong one.
It did kind of catch me out a bit there as well because I was
waiting for the countdown of like how many seconds left to go.
nobody noticed then. Nobody.
No.
Until you mentioned it anyway.
Everybody did. Everybody did. Oh dear!
I love that new theme tune. I love that new
It's
music.
really good, isn't it? It is really good, and I've got to say, it keeps us on our toes because it's such a really snappy start to the show. And actually, if you watch it on YouTube, you don't have to wait and watch that countdown sort of ticking on and ticking on and ticking on. We're basically straight into it. So, yeah, a massive welcome. And actually, after last week, I just hope we get, even if we get like sort of half of the new people watching, there's no football this week. So we're still not sure as to what happened last week. Whether people who were avoiding the football then came and clicked on after the show or whatever. We've no idea. But it was really good fun. And it was, for a show we've never given absolute stuff about numbers, it's really nice to know that people are out there and watching what we do. So a massive thank you. And a big welcome to you guys. Robin, you're attracting everyone's attention there. It's so cool, isn't it? I can imagine people watching on a big screen TV on YouTube, and their eyes are completely drawn to the.
I feel like the rest of us missed the
Flamingo
memo.
in the corner.
We've definitely missed it. Yeah.
This is what I normally wear, John. I don't really understand what you're talking about.
I wonder whether it's just a filter on the camera.
I'm not sure about that. I had a very big birthday recently, and I got this wonderful flamingo hat.
Yeah.
I mean, I understand he's a little bit sad, and he likes to lean to one side.
He's a bit floppy.
A bit floppy. He's not quite as
Flamingo.
I would appreciate, but I've got some nice flamingo sunglasses that I'm going to get a lot of use out of, and just a flamingo light as well. It's almost like my friends know that I like flamingos.
It feels like we're sponsored by, was it Flamingo Land?
Yeah, that's just down the road from me. Yeah, so if anyone from Flamingo Land is watching, yeah, I will gladly accept a free entry because it's dead expensive this summer. So, yeah.
John, you're going to Walt Disney World in a few weeks' time.
I know.
It's not long.
Surely Robin should go to Flamingo Land in all her flamingo gear.
That would be so
I
funny.
was down in Tampa Airport with Phoebe the flamingo in my flamingo.
I didn't know that. Okay, Phoebe Flamingo.
That's her name,
Right.
Phoebe.
Never
It's
flying
coming
in
off
Tampa.
No. It's coming off now. Thanks, Claire, for my flamingo.
Very
giggle.
welcome. I'm glad it's getting good use.
I mean, who wouldn't want a giant flamingo to wear on your head?
Quite. I thought the sunglasses might come in.
Perfect gift.
Yeah, the flamingo. Of course, I think. Do you know what, Claire? I need to get you a pair. We can have matching.
Oh, so be matchy.
I'm worried that all through our letterboxes now there's going to be like flamingo glasses.
I'm suddenly very glad that I need to have prescription ones.
Yeah, that's a good excuse. I need to remember that one.
Yeah.
Just before we dive straight into the show, I've got a couple of little news items that, again, it allows us that freedom on a Wednesday because we're live. We can actually go into things that are happening in the parks in the actual here and now. Just before we start, it's happy 69th birthday to Disneyland today.
Yeah.
which not a lot of people have made. I don't even think many people have made such a fuss of. And they're probably maybe saving it for next year for the 70th. But just thought, get that out there. And then also, if anyone hasn't seen, I actually had eldest son live via FaceTime last night, walking me through Rise of the Resistance single rider line. Now, it seems to have opened up a big debate as to whether or not it's a decent single rider line or not. Josh's opinion was the fact that it doesn't immerse you as fully as actually being in the standby line.
Yeah.
And he said, certainly for me going out in August, he would really absolutely ensure that we went and standby first, so you actually got the full story rather than basically getting dropped into the
I think
stormtrooper section.
I think what you should do for the first time you ever go on an attraction, you should do a standby, get the full experience. Yes, probably not for, we mentioned before, like Flight Passage, Claire. I remember you just did the fast pass queue. Because
I did go back and do the standby.
It was like a 6 hour. I remember when it first opened, it was a long queue. But it's a good thing to do the standby so you can get the full immersion, the experience of what it's meant to be, and then on repeat visits. It's
Unless
like you don't
it's a
have
6 hour queue, because you're not paying all that money to go all that way to stand in a queue for 6 hours.
No.
No, nobody is going to do that. But I think you're right with Rise of the Resistance, being able to be in the standby and go through the armory and all of those bits.
Yeah.
And so where it drops you in, you miss the beginning part of the story, unfortunately.
Yeah. You missed the bit with BB-8 and Ray.
Yeah.
And then you go straight
and
into...
then the initial transporter bit you miss as well.
Yeah.
So it is essential to do the standby line at least once.
I can see why they've done it. And
totally.
one good
I'm
thing
all for
about
it.
it is that it means that the ride's more reliable, hopefully. If there's a single rider,
Yeah.
Maybe.
What was interesting as well, Ben, which actually took me by surprise, because it was Josh was getting rather irate about it last night, was the fact that he was in the single rider and yet they still went down the standby queue looking for groups of 2. So it is different. It is different. Yeah, rather than putting 2 single riders on, they are
weird.
definitively trying to ensure that it's just the one person. Which again, it's worth remembering. If you're the type of person that likes to stay together as a group, then obviously it might be one of those that you'll just end up having to do. But it actually seems a good and sensible idea, because actually, I think the ride itself, it lends itself to being putting a single rider on to make sure that
and it's good if you're a solo
capacity is
traveller.
reached.
If you're a solo traveller, that would make a massive difference for me. And
Yeah.
I think that the ride vehicle is 2 rows of 4.
Yeah.
So it's not going to be every vehicle that's going to need a single rider, but you know, you might be lucky.
Yeah.
It's like
Might make the queue go down, wait time go down as well.
I think that's the intention, Robin. I think as well.
Yeah.
I think anything that does that is going to be, it's only going to benefit us, isn't it?
Yeah.
So I just thought we'd start the show with that, because actually I'm nearly in full planning mode, and it's little nuggets that are coming up from Josh that is coming back, and it's like, okay, right, we need to remember that one, things like that. So
And yesterday was International Dole Whip Day. Did you?
Was it?
How did I miss
It's an
that?
International Dole Whip Day?
Yeah.
It was. My Instagram feed was full of people with all their different Dole Whips, and
It was making me hungry.
I'm trying to remember who it was. Did a tour of Walt Disney World yesterday, trying all the different Dole Whips.
I think it was Lou Mangello.
It was not. It was
But I
somebody
remember
else.
he was posting about 10 times yesterday.
Yeah,
and
Lou
every time
did do a Dole Whip Day yesterday, but
Yeah.
it wasn't. I mean, I always follow Lou, but it wasn't actually. I can't remember who it was.
No.
But there's one at. There's a lime and coconut one.
Yeah.
Which looks amazing. I'm trying to remember where that is. I think that is.
I want to try the ones that are in Disney Springs. What was it? Swirls
Right.
on the Water.
Yes, so that's always got a massive line, but there's one there at the moment which is like passion fruit, and it's got like popping candy on it and stuff.
Yeah.
And they look amazing.
That sounds nice.
And there's one which is almost like a margarita. Oh no, there is one. There is a frozen Dole Whip margarita. Sorry, my brain's so in Mexico in Epcot. The restaurant on the right hand side. What's it called? Not the tequila shack outside. The other one.
San Angeles.
No.
The San. It's not San Angel Inn. It's the counter service.
The
They
other
have got
place.
a limited edition summer lime Dole Whip
Oh,
spiked.
okay.
Oh,
It's like a tequila
okay.
spiked Dole Whip.
So you're in a few weeks. You'll let us know what it's like.
I will let you know in about
Live.
4 weeks today.
Wow.
But it's got tahini around the rim as well. So,
Ooh.
all the good
nice.
stuff.
Nice.
That sounds good.
But yeah.
We're not going to Epcot this year.
I
Thank you
keep hearing
for
this.
reminding me.
We have to go to,
I have to
the Willow
admit-
Springs instead.
Yeah.
Yesterday we
Or-
were looking up three-day tickets for Walt Disney World.
From the
We're not going to the parks, so Ben and Becca. We're having a Disney park.
We've always called it, Claire.
We haven't
called
booked
it.
the Halloween
I haven't
party.
purchased the tickets. We were just looking at the prices and going like, no.
You know what? I'm going to blame Robin for it because she brought them up on our
Recording on Monday.
Yeah.
recording on Monday for the 1st of August show.
Yeah, that's it. There's so
Do
much
you
to
know
play.
what?
Do you know
They-
what?
they-
I'm interested in the chat. How many people in the chat think that Ben and Becca are actually going to end up buying a 3-day park ticket?
That's
That's
okay.
okay. Friends.
Also, what I would put in the chat is a GoFundMe page if he wants to fund our.
Yeah.
I mean, bear in mind, we've already gone from no parks to Magic Kingdom Halloween Party and Universal, so...
And Universal's gone
That's a
from
slippery slope, Becca.
2 days to we're now doing 3 days at Universal.
Yeah. It's totally happening.
Well, we need to walk around the parks to burn off all the food that we're going to eat on the cruise. So
Yeah, thank you, Neil. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, they are. There's no doubt, is there? It really isn't. There's no doubt. 100%. They're buying.
I feel like I'm sure I've read about a Disney Vacation Club's 3-day ticket.
Mm-hmm.
okay.
So
It's a discounted vacation club.
I'm going to write that down.
Disney
Oh,
Vacation
really?
Club's 3-day ticket.
Okay.
Discounted
This-
one. Just
This is where you
saying.
find it's only available for US guests.
Oh, yeah.
I think it's Disney Vacation Club. You're okay, but I think it's summer. But I think it ends at the end of September. So
Ooh.
We get off
Okay.
our cruise on the 28th.
It might work. Might work. You never know.
Squeeze it in.
Yeah. Right. I'm going to move us on. Right. So, like I said, we had loads of people watching for the first time last week.
Yeah.
And thanks again if you've joined us. If you've already subscribed to our channel, that's great. If you haven't subscribed, do it now because you might miss out on loads of the content that's available on YouTube. So make sure you subscribe and then also give us a thumbs up on YouTube because that's always quite polite as well. But on your podcast download place of choice, make sure you subscribe as well because what we're going to try and do is we're going to put not just this show as a podcast like we have been doing, but also our podcasts on the 1st and the 15th of every month are going to just evolve as well. They're shorter, they're snappier. We are learning, guys, and we are actually listening to what you're saying. So, again, out on Monday was our mid-month show where we were joined by Gaz and Ange, who are the Kershaw's Adventures, and they took us east for their thoughts of Disney parks throughout the wider world. Unmissable listening. And actually, I'm going to avoid any spoilers there, so make sure you go and listen to that. And here we go. No football distraction. So, look, I've not even got the telly on. So there's nothing on. There's nothing on apart from the
See,
golf
I'm
stuff.
waiting.
Tomorrow, so that's another
John,
one.
I'm
So,
waiting for your head just to turn just like because it's usually on.
yeah,
So
yeah. It's the usual Wednesday night.
Which-
checking of the scores, you know. And anyway, we should have loads of people in England watching us this week, as opposed to those in Scotland who watched us last week, laughing at the football. But we're going to keep the format roughly the same. It's not so much penalty shootout style, but the same pressure to select which ride is the best when put against a random matchup between Disney and Universal. Now, as we found last week, that matchup actually poses quite a few little surprises as you go. And who would have thought that we actually would have ended up with like E.T. against Peter Pan? So anything could happen. Stay tuned. This is going to be fun because actually it was really good doing it last week. And I think for the record, I think as it stands, I think if my memory serves,
Universal ahead.
Universal was
I think
winning.
Universal are about 3-1 ahead or something. So,
Wow.
which I think we were expecting, but
Yeah.
who knows?
I'm interested to
go.
see what this happens after like D23 and Disney have announced lots more stuff for us to think about in the future to compare.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
Sorry,
we
did I
should
say that out loud?
Yeah.
It's if and all a lot of stuff that Disney's going to announce is outside at the minute, a bit of blue sky.
We've had some recently.
Oh, yeah. I'm not sure. Somebody actually took themselves into the. If someone has seen it on Twitter this morning, someone took themselves into the little pond area off Tom Sawyer
I saw
Island.
that.
Yeah.
Oh,
What a nutcase! How on earth you would do that? There's alligators in there.
There's
It's just like
all
I was
sorts
just
of
like, I was going to share it. I
brain-eating
just thought, no, I
bacteria
can't.
in there that
Yeah.
somewhere in
But-
Orlando, you don't want to be pond
No.
dipping with your body. Let's face
There are
it.
definitely better
not.
ways to stay cool in Florida.
I don't know. I can almost feel how they got to that point, though, can't you? Magic
No,
Kingdom.
I would never. I would go and sit in Hall of Presidents for 2 shows in a row, and just chuck
That's
a bottle
what I
of
would
water
do
over
also.
myself. Oh,
If I was
my
really desperate, I might even end up in the Country Bears.
word. The new and improved Country Bears.
See, I'm so looking forward to John and Claire just going in to Country Bears, recording that for us for the channel.
That'd be fine.
Well done,
I
John.
will. I
Thanks
will
for
do because I will.
volunteering for that.
I will have to because our Josh is one of his favourite ones of all time. So he was
Excellent.
mightily
job.
impressed that he
I was
was.
gonna
out
say
there
he's the
doing
only
the-
fan of that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know
Yeah.
one other. I know one other,
Yeah.
but that's it.
My
Well done.
my usual joke whenever it involves the greatest bit of the Country Bears is the exit sign, but that's about it. But I've used that at least twice before, so I won't sort of keep repeating the same joke again and again. It never becomes funny. So who's going first? I'm gonna
Do you know what?
I'm gonna
I was
go on,
going to put a
Ben.
tumbleweed up.
Do you know what? I'm going to go for one that I think we discussed earlier.
Ben's
I,
just jumping straight in there.
Oh,
There was
yeah.
no
No,
ladies
yeah.
first, none of
No,
that.
it was just like,
No,
Ben's like, I'm straight in.
I know.
yeah.
I'm going to get maximum reaction. And I'm going
Yeah.
to make sure I get in there before anyone else
Yeah.
suggests this
Yeah.
because we
The
talked about it before the show.
Simpsons versus Star Tours.
Okay.
Ooh.
Can I put them both in the bin?
No.
No, one has to win.
Ooh.
See, for me, I think I prefer Star Tours because you've got the variety. You've got over 50 different sort of clips that you end up seeing. Unfortunately, sometimes you end up seeing the same one over and over and over again. Where if you go on The Simpsons, you're always going to get the same experience.
So, I'm thinking this through. The Simpsons queue line. So I love Itchy and Scratchy. They're very
Yes.
funny. The absolute ripping off Disney that happens at all the moments in the Simpsons queue line is
Yep.
genius.
It
And
is.
I
It is
love
good.
it. It's so subversive and it's brilliant. But until you get to that point where you're almost at loading, the line is dire, like
Yeah.
the worst.
If
It's
you
not-
see it queuing
yeah, it's
outside, you go like, okay,
yeah.
I'm gonna.
Yeah, so and
gonna
you're
come
just
back
going
later.
switchbacks and going up the concrete slopes, and it's pretty awful. I think you're right. I think that it is. Would I prefer the old Back to the Future over Simpsons? Yes, of course I would. I don't. I like the Simpsons ride. I think it's fun. I think that slightly more grown up sense of humour appeals. But it's also funny for the kids. But we're talking about Star Tours. We're talking, the outside queue area that completely gets neglected, which has got, Wookiee Village in it, and it's got an AT-AT, and nobody goes out there because it's never queued out there. But that whole audio out there is amazing, and then the inside is so cool. The atmosphere is amazing as you go around, and you've got 3PO and you've got R2 on the Star Speeder, and I just think Star Tours for me. When I was there in June, they had the new Ahsoka section to it, and I think that random generator, if you're not quite sure what you're going to get at the moment, you've been getting the Ahsoka bit, but the other two bits were different. Are you going to be the Rebel Spy? Who's going to be the Rebel Spy? Is that going to be you?
Nothing
There's
better.
always that.
Has anyone here been the Rebel Spy?
Yeah, I have.
Yeah,
I've been the Rebel Spy.
Yeah.
And that's
the
who's it going to
rebel
be?
spy.
And then for me, the thing I like most is I sit in the back row because my feet don't reach the floor.
Django. Yep.
Oh,
And they
yeah,
dangle, so you
yeah.
get an even better experience.
Yeah.
So I love it. Star Tours for me, definitely.
Oh, I love them when the cast members are doing their sort of safety thing about pulling the yellow tab, and then sometimes they'll just do some sort of Star Wars
And
sort
they're
of
brilliant.
quotes
Yeah,
and just
Princess
it's just
Yeah.
brilliant. It's
Line Obi-Wan, like
Yeah.
they do. I've seen it where they've got different characters for all the lines, all the
Oh, I
lines
like
that you
that.
have to check. Yeah.
No, I'd agree with what you're saying there, Claire, and also just put in the fact that with the Simpsons ride, one of the best things of all is actually just reminding the kids whilst you're on the ride, this used to be Back to the Future, and it used to be a really good ride as Back to the Future, and then you get the. Have we ever watched Back to the Future, Dad?
Yeah.
And so
What's
it's that
Back to
one.
the
It's that
Future?
one.
the one with
Yeah, and so it's always worth it just for that moment. But also, I think the thing with Star Tours, and I think that the random generator when it was first introduced, that must about what 2012, 2013, and when it was first done, there was probably only about 4 different options and things like that.
Yeah.
But it made such a difference. You weren't going and riding the same thing again and again, and so once it became random, and then you got that bit, get different bits where you've got things clinging,
I always get the
Chewy clinging on the front and things
Jar
like that.
Jar Binks and his
Binks.
friends.
Yeah, but it's clever though, and
Yeah,
I think that is the bit that, as someone who irrespective of which park it is, if you've been very clever with the storyline and actually made it different, that the re-rideability, you could go and actually go right round, ride it again, and it would be different, and that's what anybody really wants. It's just that freshness. It doesn't matter how many times you ride it, it's very probably going to be different.
First time we ever rid that ride must have been shortly after they did the randomized for the first time.
Yeah.
Because it was actually queuing outside.
Yeah.
Ah,
In the Wookiee Village.
We waited
I-
45 minutes to ride it.
wow. I mean,
first time we ever-
routinely it's a walk on.
Yeah.
Most
And
nowadays,
that-
5 minutes away.
I find that so sad. But also
I also
fantastic.
Yeah.
I wonder whether it's the impact of Galaxy's Edge not being
I'm
that
sure.
far away.
And if it was next door to Galaxy's Edge, it didn't have the Muppets in between.
And
I
I
think
love
it
the
would-
what they did to include Batu in the film for it. It just
Yeah.
made that integration a bit closer. I just think the other irony is that I love that Simpsons is also owned by Disney.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And yet it still pokes fun. But Robin,
Yeah.
you don't do simulators at all. They make you.
No, they make me want to lose my lunch, sadly. So
Aw.
I have been, and it was actually The Simpsons that killed it for me. I used to ride Back to the
Oh.
Future.
Oh wow.
Never had an issue. I went on The Simpsons once. I have never felt so ill in all of my
Wow.
life. I honestly was sat in it, trying to look around. You know, sometimes there's like a panic
Point,
stop
yeah.
button.
Yeah.
I was looking to see if I felt so sick. The poor staff members there afterwards took me to a dark, cold room.
Really?
I was very, very ill. And
Oh my word.
at first, I could still do some motion simulators, but not long. And I was it ruined. I'm not sure if it just unsettled something in my in the ear or if I just got old. But
It seems to be something in the chat though as well, Robin. And people are saying, as Dan said,
Yeah.
Karen said, whereas Back to the Future they were fine with, and then it changed to The Simpsons, and something happened within the actual animation.
But now it's
or
ruined all
movement.
other motion simulators as well.
Wow.
Pretty much all others. If there's something in the room that doesn't move that I can look at, I'm okay. So like Flight of Passage, you can turn and look at other people or the edge and you can see it's not moving, so I'm okay. But Star Tours, I wouldn't dare. That's a no for me.
Oh, I'm all for it. The more motion simulators, the better.
Do you know what? They need to bring back Back to the Future. They really do, because I know they've.
Great.
I love what.
Sorry.
Beck is trying to break.
In Ashford.
Beck is trying to break the desk.
I'm trying
So.
to wiggle slightly, get more comfortable.
Okay.
It's a shame. It's a shame.
Yeah.
There's so many
Yeah,
nice motion simulators that I used to love, but sadly, no more.
Yeah, they
I
need to
think-
come
They
back to
could
the future because
bring
I
back
like they've
the future.
included that in the parade that their new parade. They've got Jaws, they've got Jurassic Park, and they've got Back to the Future.
You got Martin.
I'm
Dole coming
tempted.
Yeah.
The parade is tempting me for a Universal ticket.
I
It's
can't
actually
wait.
tempting me.
in.
Because I'm not doing many rides, let's face it. Because it's all motion simulators and massive roller coasters, which also make me sick. So I'm not going for the rides, but I
Parade's tempting.
it's the parade, the little show that they have, like with the dancers in the street, and some of the water rides are really tempting me for my next trip, which is this summer. So yeah, it's you never know. I do have a friend that works at Universal who said to me, if you ever want to go, you just let me know. So I might drop her a message and say, do you fancy hanging out on a day off? See what she
Go and
says.
get drenched on Popeye and Pluto.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's make it soaked to the skin. Let's do it. I mean, it'll be like August or September, so
Perfect.
it'll be fine.
Right, let's move on. Claire, go on.
Okay, so I've been thinking about this week, rather than winging it like I did last week. I'm gonna. Who would know? So I'm going to ask you to consider the Tomorrowland Speedway versus
The smell of diesel.
Jimmy Fallon race through New York.
Oh,
That's easy.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I'm wearing the right T-shirt for it as well, which is the Jimmy Fallon.
there you
So yeah,
See, this is conflicted for me because the Jimmy Fallon attraction in Universal Studios is probably the one when we went last year that surprised me most.
Yeah.
I hadn't done it before, and again, yes, it is a motion simulator of sorts, but a big screen one. I love Jimmy Fallon, and I found the whole thing brilliant. I love the queue line. I love the fact that you're going through the Rockefeller Center. I love when you get up there, the bit with the Roots band, and all
that's
of that.
just amazing. I love the safety.
The safety bit is
the rapping
it's
safety
just
bit is incredible.
so good. They had live musicians in the plaza when you get up the stairs. The whole thing was awesome, and the attraction itself is so tongue in cheek and typical Fallon humour, which I absolutely adore. However, it doesn't smell like the Speedway. And I
That's a
love
good
it
Which is a
thing.
good thing.
No, it's
I-
not.
No, I
No.
think it's a good thing.
No.
I
No.
love the smell of the Speedway. It's just
You
one of
are
those...
on your own, Claire. Does come
hate
on, in
the
the
smell of
comments,
diesel.
someone tell me?
I think it's
anyone
one of the most unique smells.
That's the thing.
It's
I
that
know
bit in.
exactly where I am when I smell that smell.
Oh,
I know I could literally.
It's like I've just driven into a petrol station.
yeah.
No, it doesn't
No, it's
smell like
not
a
that.
petrol station though.
It always
doesn't-
reminds me. If anyone's ever watched, is it Deer Hunter, right? And then was it Martin Shaw in that? Somebody turns around and says, "I love the smell of napalm in the morning."
Yeah.
And it's that bit of the Speedway. I love the smell of the Speedway in the
Yeah.
morning, and it just absolutely.
When you see the heat
sums it
coming
up,
off
yeah.
the track, and you
Yeah.
can see like the ripples in the light where the heat
the
is
fuel
like
fuel vapor in the
the
air
fuel
as
vapor,
well.
the tarmac is melting because it's
No.
so hot out there. And then you see the 6-year-old child who can't quite reach the steering wheel having a go round there. And I'm driving, no one can drive those things straight. I bounce off that middle bracket thing all the time. And it's
Sounds
really
like the
annoying.
average driving lesson round here.
But it just is so classic.
It's
And
nostalgic.
it is nostalgia. And I really worry that one day they'll replace it with Teslas or something.
Oh
like
gosh,
that.
I hope
I-
they replace
do-
it.
They just
Oh,
need
no,
to pump
you
the
couldn't-
smell out at the same
Yeah.
time, though, because you can
Yeah.
literally pick me up and like blindfold me, and if I smelt that, I would know exactly where I am.
Have you ever thought though,
Exactly.
Claire? When we've talked about this, we did a show ages ago about smells of different Disney hotels,
yeah.
etc. Right? But no one's ever made that diesel smelling.
Nobody. There's a reason.
Candle, the candle.
I've
One
Yeah,
time
no,
we
yeah.
done
one.
test track.
One
Because your
other
whole
time.
house,
Candle.
your house
Track.
would be in flames. It would just be like you get the match, you light the candle, and just go kaboom.
I would buy it. I love it. It's like when you if you drip diesel on your hand when you're filling your car up or something. There are certain smells. Maybe we should do this as a show. We should do the smell show on a Wednesday again. Because things like cut grass.
Hang on, I'll get my pen out, Claire.
Where's your post-it note, John?
Look, there you go. We're on purple post-its this week.
Oh,
And actually, what I would say is from last week's show, I think we ended up with 4 of the shows that went on the list. So this is good.
At this point, we'll have Christmas wrapped up by the end of August.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I think that the Speedway has just this. It's always busy. You know, you never see it without any queue at all.
I think it's busy because it takes forever to get in those cars.
No, well, yeah, it's a bit like Space Mountain. There's no dignified way of getting in there.
There isn't, and I've fallen out of one.
You've fallen out.
Trying to get out of it.
Oh no!
I've never done that.
No, that's nightmare.
That's so funny.
Oh, Ben.
I know. I'm dangerous.
While we're laughing,
Humiliation of
That was
falling
hilarious.
out of a Speedway car.
can I just say thank
You were
you
there
to
when you
Simon
fell off
as
a
well.
carousel horse.
Oh dear.
Yes.
Yeah. Just a big thank you to you just. I'm trying to keep us on track for a change instead of taking us.
I like that, John. On track, Speedway.
Yeah. See what I did there?
Yeah.
Deliberately. Simon, many thanks. It was actually Apocalypse Now with Robert Duvall's character. So
There we are.
it shows how little I watch films and take notice. And I know Simon is very much into that. So thank you. Thank you for that.
I feel like this one is very much split between the top and the
No,
bottom.
if Ben's falling out of the car, I'm going to stand on that bridge. I'm going to stand on that bridge and wait for Ben to
Take
come out
photos.
each and every time. I want to film it. I think I'd be great on our YouTube channel. I think that's just a must. It's a must do.
Well, we are going to Magic Kingdom this year.
Probably won't be actually.
With that
For
3-day
Halloween
ticket,
party.
that
Halloween
3-day
party.
ticket, you weren't
Halloween
ever going back.
I don't know. I like the nostalgia of it.
Yeah.
I don't mind the smell.
I'm not that nostalgic about it.
I like
I didn't
it.
grow up with it because I didn't go when I was a child,
I like it, but
and I hate the smell.
yeah.
Me too.
I prefer Jimmy Fallon.
Right, okay.
I'm going with
I
Jimmy
think we're
I'm
split
glad
on
there's
it.
5 of us tonight because if there's a tie,
Yeah, but I think we're
time
split on
bracket.
it anyway, and I think
Yeah.
I think that's the nature of this is actually
Yeah.
there is a definite line between who prefers what. The one thing I would add is if you've got kids and you are that sort of parent who's with your 6-year-old child who can't drive properly and is yanking the steer from one wheel and one way to the other, and you end up with whiplash. It actually becomes a highlight of each and every
I love going on
trip
it
to
and
Magic
videoing it.
Kingdom. It's just brilliant.
I've got so many videos of me with Morgan driving with me and one camera, and then Millie doing it as well. I love it. But
I've got a brilliant picture of, I think Josh was in front of us with Alison, and we were because Joe couldn't reach the pedal. Then I was like pedal all the way to the floor, so we were catching Josh, and so Joe's face each and every time as we bumped into the car in front. I know you're not meant to, but oh my word, did younger brother have a giggle at his older brother's expense? It was one of those moments you just don't forget it, and that's what good rides are about. There's that experience that you can't recreate in real life until they turn 17, and then obviously you don't want to be giving your driving instructor whiplash or bumping into the car in front, because that's definitely a no.
I do love the Speedway, but I would say at this point in time, I'd say Jimmy Fallon, just for the queue line experience probably, and the comedy and how tongue-in-cheek it is might
Just
be better.
so much fun.
Thank you, Jimmy Fallon.
Oh wow. There we go. So that's I was going for a draw on that one, but we're now I think that's a definite win in the Universal box again. So
And Martin, welcome to the chat. Yes, we do know Marvel, and it may come up in the chat at some point.
Oh yeah, definitely. Especially when Ben's got something to do with it as well.
It's your favourite though, isn't it, John?
Absolutely. I am just a Marvel expert. And besides, I've been to Paris. I've done all the Marvel stuff in Paris, mate.
John's got a Marvel book. He knows everything about
I
all
have.
the
I've
films.
got. I've got
All
two Marvel.
reading.
I've got two Marvel T-shirts as well, Ben.
Yeah. I was going to
There
say,
you
John,
go.
there's,
He's on
there's,
there.
there's a video you need to watch before you go and see Deadpool. It covers up like all the films you need to see in 30 minutes.
Oh, I tried to think. It's like, yeah, I'm not going there. Let's move on. Let's move on. Robin, go on. Let's have another matchup on some of these rides. Go on.
Well, as I've said, there's not many rides in Universal that I go on. So I was trying to rack my brain. And one of my favourites, now don't laugh. I can already hear it in your voices. Don't laugh.
I know what you're going to say here. Go on.
One fish, two fish.
I could have put money on that.
Versus, now, I don't know, versus Dumbo or versus Triceratops Spin, is it called?
Dumbo.
Cool.
I think
Versus
versus
Dumbo.
Dumbo. And which one though?
Classic.
Because I feel like Dumbo is iconic. It's such, you think of Disney, you think of Dumbo. Dumbo is where you fly, and it's such an iconic ride. But I think One Fish, Two Fish is better. That whole thing that you get to try and either get wet or get dry, depending on which you want to do, or where you're sat compared to the person beside you.
Yes.
I don't know if anyone's not been on it. It spits water out, and you can go up and down like Dumbo. And yeah, depending if you want to stay wet or dry, I think half the fun for me is sitting on the inside and then controlling it so we can get Simon as soaked as possible.
The thing is, you just need to go on with someone who's never been on it before and just just ignore what's happening and just enjoy the ride. And then,
I can't remember if I've ever done One Fish, Blue Fish.
Oh, we have.
Did I enjoy it?
No, you don't like Dumbo rides.
I know
It was
I don't
really-
like
it
Dumbo
was
rides
really
because
memorable
I don't
then,
like
wasn't
the
it?
height.
It was
Yeah.
really memorable.
Yeah.
It's right,
You remember-
memorable that.
Yeah, I really don't like Dumbo. Mostly, what I don't like about Dumbo is it bounces when you're
Oh, that's
getting
the
in
bit
and
I
out.
like.
So it feels very wobbly.
You're in a flying elephant, of course it's going to be
I
wobbly.
know, but
You
in
know-
my brain that translates to not very safe and I'm going to fall off.
Becca,
See-
I know exactly what you mean,
Yeah.
and I don't like it when I'm on Dumbo or Flying Carpets of Agrabah, when someone who's in the car with me or on the carpet with me likes to bounce the thing up and down. And even worse is when they tip it forwards and backwards.
Oh, yeah.
However, I think that it is a better attraction than One Fish, Two Fish. The Seuss Landing stuff I think is great, and the carousel next door is fun, but the One Fish, Two Fish I can do without getting soaked on a carousel. I'm okay.
I
I'd
love
rather
it.
do Dumbo.
Yeah.
I like the
See-
music on Dumbo.
Say
I
that
like
again.
Hugh from Dumbo, actually.
Yeah.
No, because that's
Like
got
being
the
in the
soft
big
play
top.
thing inside. I can't be doing
Yeah.
that. And go
But I
straight
don't think-
past that.
If you've got kids and
Oh,
the queue is really
Oh
long,
no.
If the queue's really
Yes,
long, I'm not
if-
going.
But
Yeah.
just don't take a swab of it and send it to the lab, you know.
well, that's like most things, though.
Yeah.
Even though
Soft play
vehicles.
of any kind is not happening.
Oh, I have to say, I don't think I've ever ridden Dumbo in the daytime.
Oh.
I don't think I've ever ridden it in the daytime. So if you go maybe half an hour before park closing, I can pretty much guarantee to you that it's going to be a walk on, to the point of so empty
Yeah.
you can stay on it more than once.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've done that. It's good.
Yeah.
I'm good.
So,
We've been on it in Disneyland Paris when the sun was going down, and that was really nice to see when it's sort of golden hour
You
and
get
you
some
see the
good
car.
views.
Yeah.
It's really
Yeah.
good.
So
But
weirdly, I liked the carpets of Aladdin in Paris, Disneyland Paris.
What, the
know
one
why.
by Crush's Coaster?
Yeah, don't know why.
Really?
That didn't make me feel like I was about to fall off.
All right.
a bit more sturdy.
Maybe.
What, than the elephant?
flying carpet or an elephant? It's both
I
an
would
Aladdin,
definitely do
isn't it?
Dumbo on this.
I'm
matchup.
I'm going for Dumbo as well. I actually think that
I'm going for, was it One Fish, Two
The-
Fish?
Okay, for
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going for neither, so it's a nice draw there.
Oh, there you go.
Goodness me. We're getting rubbish at this.
Sorry,
Yeah,
Disney.
Go on, John. What's yours?
Oh, right, okay, it has to be done. And actually, I've gone for the big guns, and I'm pretty certain everyone's just going to turn around and just going to say, "Oh, I don't like doing either of these." I'm going for Hulk against, and I had to think of how I could actually get this so it was a little bit
I know
fairer,
where
because
you're going.
I was gonna put Hulk up against somewhere like Spaceship Earth or something, so that people, if they didn't like the roller coaster bit, but I couldn't possibly do that, so it has to be Hulk against Everest.
That's what I thought you were going
Oh,
to
There
say.
you go.
Okay.
Oh, that's an easy one for me.
Easy.
I've not done Hulk.
Neither.
yet.
Yes. Everest.
I'm not done Hulk
Everest,
yet, but I
yeah.
think Everest with the theming.
The theming for Everest.
Yeah. Even if the
The
Yeti
ride
doesn't move.
itself.
I love
Everest is
Hulk.
really growing on me.
I just think Hulk has got one of the biggest. That the actual growl of the actual ride itself, as you actually launched, is just such an amazing feeling. But it's just an apps. Yeah, I'm with you, Karen. It's the launch as you're there and you actually so fast. I would also add the fact that I can't. As much as I'm in a bigger quandary here as I am trying to pick from the list of different rides and things like that, and I actually find myself in really torn between the two. Hulk, because it's so fast and it really does put you through the mill, but the queue line again, a little bit like the Simpsons ride, it kind of leaves you a little bit cold and a little bit a bit lacking, and they've missed an opportunity in that, because you generally always have to queue up unless you go single rider, which again, single rider on the Hulk is certainly was always a really good way of cutting the queue. But Everest is just like it is. I think we said this when we were talking about the whole design of Animal Kingdom, and when we were talking about the genius of not just the design of the park, but actually of Everest itself. And I just feel that, and it's just like, I just feel that Everest actually edges it for me, just purely from the fact you don't even have to ride the ride. You go through the standby there, and some of the actual visuals actually just take you, completely immerse you into what the Imagineers actually intended. And the ride actually seems an extra to what's actually there, which is quite a bizarre feeling. Even for the prayer flags, and which is, you see it was at first base that if you're going up Everest, it's exactly the same, and it's just that complete immersion.
Yeah.
And you wouldn't even think you were in a theme park whilst you're in the queue.
It's been a long time since I've been on Hulk, I'll be honest.
Yeah.
Since I got old and got sick on stuff. I never used to get sick on anything. I used to ride everything. And it's very annoying that I can't do it, because I still want to, but I don't want to feel ill, so I don't.
No,
I have memories of, I haven't been on Hulk since they redid it, so that'll tell you how long ago that was. And I have memories of a holiday in my mid-teens with my mum and my dad, and me dragging my dad on Hulk. And it's one of the best memories, because he didn't really want to go on it, but it was just the three of us, and my mum wasn't getting on it, so we went on it together. And it was an amazing ride. But I think, like you say, just the theming of Everest it just wipes the floor with it. It really does.
Yeah. And it's different, because every time you go, you see something completely different, because you kind of stop in a different place. And so you're looking for different clues, and you're looking for different things around you, and it never fails to amaze you, the fact that how come I've ridden this ride about 100 times or whatever, I've never seen that before. And it's just like, and that's what there is so much there.
What I love the similarity is that you walk into Animal Kingdom, you hear the screams on Everest. You walk into Islands of Adventure, you hear the screams on Hulk. And it's one of those things you just like, it sets the lands up perfectly. And I think it's a difficult choice, but I would go Everest.
Yeah, I think that's an Everest win.
Yeah. Everest.
Yeah. Becca, have we had yours yet?
Not yet.
Come on then.
All right.
let's pit ourselves against these two, because actually this is actually getting really close, and
Okay.
we've not got
don't know
through half of the list still, so this could be another show for the future as well. It could be a winter spectacular. We do this every Wednesday for the whole winter. That might be quite a way of doing it.
So I'm going to say the Hogwarts Express versus the Magic Kingdom Railway.
Oh,
Ooh.
that's controversial, actually.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Are
I
you
do
Harry
find
Potter?
it.
Ooh.
I do find it quite easy though. I mean, the railway is just iconic and classic, and
Yeah.
I don't think anything could ever. I don't think we could put anything against it that it would win out for me. The railway is just, yeah.
One is a real train.
One is a railway
Right,
train.
One's a real train, one isn't. But yeah,
I
it's got to be
like
railway.
Hogwarts
like-
Express. I like the theming of it. I like the fact that you feel like it doesn't smell quite the same as King's Cross, but it certainly
It smells a bit
feels
nicer.
Which is a good thing.
much nicer than
Yes.
But it,
And they sell Golden Wonder crisps.
well,
Yeah.
they used to sell cans of Tennants in that
Yes.
shop,
Wow.
because we have photos of us stopping at the little shop in the queue line
Yeah.
and buying cans of Tennant's lager, which
Ah.
is unheard of.
Yeah.
And yes, they do sell Golden Wonder crisps, which
And
is
Mars
again,
bars,
it doesn't,
which are like
doesn't really
$6.
exist over here, even here. But I am a kind of in agreement that one is a train, one isn't. I like the fact that it's the Hogwarts Express is a clever use of digital screening, and I like the fact that it's very true to the theming in terms of the book and the movies.
Yeah.
The queue is a bit of a pain; it takes a long time, but it's
It's like
fun.
being in King's Cross.
Yeah.
Yeah. Whereas the railroad, there's no, all aboard.
Oh, I love it.
That's all we need.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the sound of the train whistle as you walk into Magic Kingdom. And I know that when I was there in April, and I said to you guys that I walked into Magic Kingdom on the first morning, it was just ticking over to 9 o'clock, and I walked in, and the welcome show was announced as starting as I walked underneath the train station. And so then there's all the music and Mickey saying hello, and then the Dapper Dans appeared on their trolley out from the side, and they started singing, and then the train whizzed around behind me and whistled, and it was just like this absolute assault of Magic Kingdom on my senses, and it was perfect. And the train absolutely, every single time I go into Magic Kingdom, plays a part in that. And when it wasn't there, didn't we all moan about it?
Oh my
Yeah.
word! Yeah, but the whole area, even if you're playing golf, you still rely on the sound of the train whistle as
To
you're
help
playing.
you aim.
No, just purely that atmosphere of you're playing golf somewhere special, and when it wasn't there
Yeah.
and it was silent, it was
for
really really heartbreaking, because actually
Yeah.
you become so accustomed to actually, no matter where you are in Magic Kingdom, or even if you're out at one of the monorail resorts,
You can
you're
hear
actually just plotting where those trains are
Mhm.
in your own mind on that circular track, and it's a really bizarre feeling.
Yeah.
There you go. Morg's in the chat as well.
Morg's here, and Riley's here as well.
And Riley's
so-
here as well. So
not together,
hi to
but-
both of you.
But I think you're right. I think there's something about the atmosphere that the train creates, and just knowing it's there.
Yeah.
And when it wasn't there, we all missed it. We all moaned about it and whinged about the fact that Tron was ruining the trains.
Yeah.
And the legacy that the trains have in terms of Disney and
But it goes back to Walt as well, and I think that I think for everybody is that connection with history, the connection with the park. And actually, if you had, for example, even if you had the monorails going round Magic Kingdom, it would never be the same. Walt's idea at the very outset that the steam trains were at the fore of his theme park, and again, taking us back to talking about Disneyland being 69 years old, it's that whole thing about perfection of what you would expect from every single sense in a theme park. It's the smell, it's the sight, and it's also it's the whole sound as well. And I don't think.
Do you think we need Hogwarts Express to close for like 4 years?
I don't
No,
know. I was just
no.
thinking about that. If Hogwarts Express closed and they put like a tunnel that you walk through, like an underground, like a subway tunnel, you know, like the one I'm trying to think. Like if they put in one that was like where you come out of the station, the tube station by Kensington, so like the Royal Albert Hall, or walking towards the museums and natural history museums stuff. They put a tube like tunnel like that you'd walk down.
Yeah.
Rather than the train, I'd be okay with that. I wouldn't miss the Hogwarts Express at all.
Yeah.
As long as it was themed, it wouldn't bother me. Whereas I would miss the train if it disappeared.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it maybe that thing where Hogwarts exists, the Hogwarts Express exists to show you the animated part of the animated screen as you go between the two parks.
Yeah.
And actually, if you maybe did take it away, that's maybe something that's
They'd have to find a different way to transport you between two
Yeah.
parks,
Yeah.
or a different way to flog you a 2-part ticket. So,
So we've got another winner for Disney. We've got another winner
that
for
is a
Disney.
Disney win, I think.
Oh yes,
Yes,
I think it is,
definitely.
yeah.
You need me to join. I can tip it in the Disney direction.
Yeah. Yeah, that'd be great.
Um,
I think that was it. That was in the end. That was an easy win.
Yeah.
Easy win.
mhm.
Just need someone to choose something against the people mover, and then I'm like, doesn't matter what it is.
I think there's a
What
few
about
things like that.
That Sue Skyway thing.
Yeah, I was
You
thinking
cannot
that's the
compare
closest
those
thing.
two.
Oh no,
No,
that's
I know.
yeah,
I'm joking.
that's yeah.
I mean, that is the closest comparison for each
Yeah.
ride in the park, but there's
Okay.
no comparison because Disney
Okay.
would definitely win out of the.
I've got one.
Go on,
Come
then.
on.
Muppet Vision 3D
Mm.
versus Despicable Me Minion Mayhem.
Oh,
Despicable Me. I mean, we all know that I don't really like the Muppets.
Oh, I love the Muppets. I don't know. I don't think I've been on the Minion thing, so
Since
I
they
don't
got rid
know
of
if
the
I can
3D.
really have an opinion. But I feel like I'm still going with the Muppets anyway because nothing beats the Muppets.
See, Despicable Me.
The Despicable Me was better when it had the 3D aspect, and I wish they'd kept that.
yeah.
I think it's a great ride.
But
I
I think
do
it is
I
as well.
love the queue.
better.
I love the pre-show video with Gru, and it's just
I also think
Come on, girls.
the Muppet Vision actual film needs replacing.
That's the bit that annoys me. So
yeah,
the Muppets, as an entity,
incredible.
I love them.
Yeah.
They make me laugh. That particular show does not make me laugh.
The pre-show is
particular
better than the
show-
actual show.
Yeah.
I actually find a little bit creepy, and often will take the opportunity for a little nappette during that particular show
Yeah.
because I don't.
I of course
Their
would never do
characters.
such a thing. In the
Well,
Muppets.
I don't have a choice. The 3D on the Muppets makes me feel sick.
It's
Oh,
not,
no.
it's
So old.
3D doesn't bother me. I'm not a massive fan of 3D shows. Like
I'm
things
not.
that are gonna-
No,
I
not
don't
when it's
understand
forced.
3D
Not when it's
static.
forced as well. Not when it's
When it's
forced.
Yeah.
static 3D, you're there and 3D is happening.
But then-
It's
The pre-show is
The pre-
genius.
yes.
And
pre-show
very funny.
is
Rizzo
quite
the
incredible.
Rat trying to be Mickey Mouse. It's
Yeah.
just
Rizzo the Rat's my favourite Muppet anyway. So.
Yeah.
Oh really?
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
brilliant.
Oh
I
wow.
love
That feels
Rizzo.
like a different. That feels like a whole other show.
I think
Does
they
it?
John,
Yeah.
write it
I
down.
think it
Who's
needs
your
to
favourite
Muppets.
Muppet and why is it
Yeah.
Rizzo the Rat?
Yeah. I think they should just put. We've said this before about integrating Muppet Christmas Carol. Just put it in there.
Yeah,
Even
I will happily
seasonally.
just.
Just seasonally over
I'll happily
Christmas.
just watch the film for 2 hours
Just-
and
just-
it's one day.
Just- yeah.
And the whole, it's a celebration of all things, but mostly America.
Yeah.
I love
You know,
that.
that's a classic line, and we all love Sam Eagle for his
Yeah.
earnest approach
Yeah.
to life.
It's 3-hour finale.
Yeah,
You've got 5 minutes.
Bean Bunny and Wolf, they're not my favourite characters.
No,
Um,
no. I think that's the thing, Claire. And I think that's one of the things for me that I can see where it needs a refresh.
Yeah.
But I would also say, M's
Yeah.
it's on the list. We need a Muppet, an actual
Let's do a
show
Muppet show at
about
some
a
point.
tribute to
Yeah.
the Muppets, because actually I think that more than anything else has shown that
Yeah.
I think we all know how they can improve this.
Tribute to
And
the
we all-
Muppets, but mostly Sam Eagle.
it is so strange, isn't it? Because actually, and again, with them coming up with that sort of manner of Muppet being sort of the modern day
Yeah,
Muppets.
stuff.
Yeah.
It's really
And
good.
yet I don't feel, and that was a prime time where they could have done something with the Muppets within the studios, maybe even relocated that theatre as well, so that actually the Star Wars and the Star Tours become a little bit more interlinked, and maybe move the Muppets a little bit further away from that. But hey, that's another thing.
Oh, it's hysterical. I don't know if you see the chat. Morgan literally has said exactly the same thing as me at the same time.
There you go. That's a good sign.
I do like the bit where Miss Piggy sings, and the Bean's got the butterfly and all of that.
Yeah.
that makes me laugh. But
Seeing her underwear.
I would prefer them to change the movie but keep it as Muppets.
I would too. I'd like to see an updated version.
But then I'm also slightly scared that if they touch it, they'll get rid of it.
I feel you.
Yeah.
I wish they'd reopen the shop.
Have you seen that Miss Piggy's head falls off? Yes.
I haven't noticed that before.
Now you have to go and watch it again.
Once you've seen it, you
But
won't
the store
unsee it.
that is closed opposite
I know.
Melrose.
That's been closed since COVID.
Yeah.
That's a
such
good
shame.
store.
It was. I'm sure it's probably still got merch inside it.
Probably.
It's kind of sad that that's not been reopened, because it's actually quite a good.
So frustrating. Temporarily closed. Still 3-4 years later.
Yeah. And again, another example where maybe they're not making the most out of the Muppets. I think we said this when we did our amazing show about Bear in the Big Blue House, and it seems to be an awful lot about the Henson legacy within Disney, and they haven't. Maybe they fell out. Who knows? We're not privy to that, but they haven't really fully encapsulated the Muppets and Bear in the Big Blue House and taken on the whole Henson Productions part of it.
Wouldn't it be great if you had a random Henson production, so you didn't know which one you were getting? So you go in and you might get Bear in the Big Blue House, you might get Muppets, you might get
Fraggle Rock.
Labyrinth, or even the Dark Crystal. That would terrify all children, but it's amazing.
Yeah,
that would be so cool.
Just
have a Henson corner.
Yeah,
with all of that stuff, with all the merch. How much Labyrinth merchandise could you sell? Loads of it. And you can have live meet and greet. Oh, this is a whole other show.
Isn't it? I think so as well.
Characters from Labyrinth and the Babe.
But they're missing out on something, and actually they own the rights to it.
Yeah.
So,
reimagine that corner as Henson Productions.
Yeah, there must be some reason. There must be some reason why they're not actually pushing it, and maybe the Henson family get too big a cut of profits or whatever. I don't know. But it seems sadly neglected. I think that's the problem.
So
and I remember, Despicable Me, Minion Mayhem.
I do like Despicable Me. Makes me laugh.
Yeah.
Muppets.
Despicable Me.
I'm going for the Muppets.
Have I got the deciding vote?
Yeah.
That's why I was getting in first.
Man.
It could be a draw if you want.
No, I'm going to go Muppets. Even though I don't particularly like
I wasn't expecting
I don't particularly like
that
that particular film, but I do love all the things the Muppets stand for.
Me too.
Wow.
Disney are winning tonight.
So I'm just keeping the score. I've just put my scores down. That's it.
Is that all of us? Have we all shared our?
Yeah, and And actually,
Ben's had two. He's cheated.
Well, I was
Yeah.
going to go Storm Force against teacups. I don't know
I
if people
did
have
think
done.
of that one.
Neither. I don't like it. I don't like any of those rides.
Have you not done Storm?
Oh yes, I have.
Do you do spinny things, Robin?
Not hugely, but I can't
Oh.
even think what Storm Force is.
So
The
it's tucked in
X-Men
behind. It's the X-Men one. It's
teacups.
tucked in behind Hulk, and it's like teacups, but if you took all the brakes off it,
It is great. I love it.
it is
I actually
super
came off
fast.
dizzy.
Like if you
Yeah.
like to try, if you're somebody who goes on teacups and likes to try and make it spin off the rails to the point
I'm
where
not
you
allowed.
think you're going to vomit and just laugh all the way around. Storm Force
No.
is
I am the
exactly the
I'm the
ride for
person
you.
that says we can go on as long as no one spins the teacup.
Yeah.
I'm happy to sit there and no spinning.
No, that's not the
Yeah.
rules.
Yes, it
Yeah.
is.
It is the rules. See,
Boring.
Ben,
No,
no, together.
Yeah.
There you
No.
go. We're fine.
And there's no
If you go
chance
on
of
the
me falling
teacups,
off the teacup.
You have to agree which way you're going and whose hand is overlapping the other
Oh, yeah, 'cause
person's hand, so that
otherwise-
you can.
Yeah.
This is competitive spinning, people. This is really important.
The worst thing to try and do is while someone is trying to spin it, is trying to hold it so it doesn't
Yeah,
spin.
that's normally my job. Trying
Yeah.
to grab it.
What
so they
is
can't
wrong with
spin
you
it.
people?
Who
I'm
knows?
the person in the queue googling which cups spin the fastest, which colour cups spin the fastest. It's
not that
serious
obsessive, to be
competitive
fair.
stuff in our house. Dan
I
won't go
feel
on
like
it.
this needs to be some sort of competition between John and Claire. In like,
So Dan won't
No,
go on teacups with us.
I won't
but
go on the
Millie
teacup.
Morgan and I
Okay.
will go, and we have a pattern. We have a
Yeah.
strategy. Like
Okay.
we
I will
talked about
happily
last
come with
week.
you.
We need to go as quickly as we can. We need to
Oh,
make sure
wow.
that people who are watching us think we're
This
going
is where
to
you
vomit.
like need to set a world record how fast you can get the teacups.
I love it. The faster the better.
Do you know something? It's one of those things that I can go and do the most amazing roller coasters. I love coasters. It doesn't matter how much G-force it is. Even if was it Gwazi at Busch
Oh, yeah.
Gardens, the old wooden one before they released came out with the iron one. Absolutely incredible. I could do that all day long. Put me on the teacups for 5 minutes. I'm done. I just like
Really?
yeah. It's just I don't know what it is. I just can't.
How are
Yeah.
you on Mission Space?
I'm fine with that.
Oh, you see that
Yeah.
spinning though?
It's different spinning.
It's like the waltzers.
Yeah, I
It's
can't
going
do
to
it.
go faster.
I can't. Yeah. I won't tell you what I would scream on the waltzers.
I can imagine. In Scouts.
Yeah.
Do our American friends have the waltzers at the local fairs and stuff? Is that something that translates?
I think they do. Yeah, I think they do.
But anyway, I
haven't
love
been on a
the
waltzer in
spinny stuff.
years.
I love anything that spins.
Yeah.
It's another one that makes me want to hurl, unfortunately.
I think
You
we
and
need to
Dan
answer.
can go and get a drink somewhere together.
Yeah. I think
I
we need to
love it.
answer Morgan's question.
Do you know, Morgan, if we were going round a second time, that was in my head, Spider-Man versus Ratatouille.
So I had
So
Transformers
funny.
versus Ratatouille, actually.
What did we have last week? We had
We had
Spider-Man
versus Smuggler's Run.
Smuggler's Run.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. And I think Spider-Man won, didn't it?
Yes, it did.
I'm not sure. I feel like it would probably still win against Ratatouille.
Oh, it definitely.
Yeah.
It would.
Anything will win against Ratatouille. I'll take Small World over Ratatouille.
Oh no!
love
Let's not get that extreme.
Do you know what? Maybe I've done it too many times. Been to Disneyland Paris, seen it with 3D, and I was gutted that when it comes to Epcot, that it's exactly the same. They
I was
could have done
hoping
something
it
slightly
would.
A couple of
different,
tweaks would have been nice.
and
Yeah.
something a little bit different. But
I just find that whole France area around the back a little bit disappointing. The whole thing compared to the Disneyland Paris Place de Remy area, which is amazing.
I agree.
you can
yeah.
get crepes
It's a bit-
there.
Yeah, no. But Morgan's into this now. He's on a day off today.
Yeah.
He's out.
They're
Oh, you
both
can tell
Disney.
He's
They're
probably
both
just woken.
Disney.
He's probably both woke. He's just probably woken up, hasn't he? Like
No,
it's,
he's been out doing stuff. He's been busy so
Really?
far. So,
Oh wow! I would really love to put, and keeping on the theme of France as well, I would really love to put Impressions of France up against something. But actually,
But there's
looking
nothing
down,
that
Boring
rubbish.
looking down the list at
Yeah.
Universal, it would be an
All
easy win,
Stuntacular.
wouldn't it?
I was thinking that versus Indiana
Paint
Jones,
dry.
actually.
Yeah.
Watching the paint dry.
Standing in the queue to get in the park.
Yeah, it wouldn't. Get your photo taken outside the Universal Globe. Oh,
Yeah, versus Impressions to France.
Yeah.
There's no one's got air conditioning though, so you know.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, yeah.
That's
Yeah,
from the
there isn't
pos-
really anything
from
you
the
can compare it with. Oh, actually, I know what might win against Impressions to France. Fast and the Furious.
I haven't done that.
No,
I think I might rather do Impressions
Impressions
to
to France.
France.
Yeah.
Gosh,
Yeah.
must be bad.
that's good.
Yeah, it's really good play. You must do it.
I'm
Need
just
to add
looking-
in the
I'm
bottom.
looking at my list, and we're actually at a stage where I actually didn't think this would happen, and Disney have actually taken a one ride lead over Universal, and
Ooh.
I think that's really. I actually think that goes against probably everything that we
Yeah.
would ever expect, because I think all of us would actually put hands up and say, as regarding rideability, Universal is the one that you go to for your thrill ride. You go to and you come out and you think, yeah, I've done some coasters and stuff like that. I think what's happened is when you put that against some of the
Nostalgia.
theming and some of the actual ways of actually going on different rides, I actually think that's.
I think there's
just-
lots
yeah.
of other combos that we haven't touched on. You know,
Yeah,
Space Mountain versus the Mummy.
Oh, yeah.
But
yeah.
we could be here for.
Days.
Until Christmas.
Forever.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And it goes against what we said that we were going to do. We're going to keep it snappy, and we're going
We
to
are.
keep
We
it.
should
we-
continue the chat in the Waffle's Arms, I think.
Yes.
I think as well, what's really
Polls.
nice is that people in the chat tonight have actually come up with their own suggestions. They've come up with their own
Yeah.
bits that they want to see and their own favourites as well.
Yeah.
And I think that throughout both these shows has been really interesting, that it doesn't matter which theme park they're in, you will always have a favourite. And it doesn't matter whether it's because it goes faster, or because it's Harry Potter, or because it's an old traditional original Walt ride or whatever. You're always going to go for that, and that's why we keep going back to Orlando, isn't it? You know. So
Karen has just mentioned E.T. versus Peter Pan. We had exactly
We
that
did
discussion
that last
this time
week.
last week, Karen.
and it
Yeah.
yeah,
Wanna go back and
it
listen to
nearly
the show?
broke the internet last week.
We had.
I thought that was England winning. Broke the internet.
Yeah.
But yeah, we did discuss that exact pairing last week.
Yeah.
So
Oh, there we go. So I'm going to draw a line right underneath that. We're going to leave that score just sort of in limbo, because actually I'm pretty sure we can always go back and we'll actually go back into our virtual friendly Facebook Great British Pub, the Waffler's Arms, and we'll keep the suggestions going and things like that. Karen's gone for ET for the record as well, which, if you catch last week's show, I think most people did. But don't tell everybody. Spoiler alert at the very end of the second show. But if you've never been to the Waffler's Arms before, you are sure to be welcomed very warmly, just like in a British pub. Unfortunately, you have to bring your own beer, but hey, that's probably very British as well, like, you know, in this day and age. But there's loads of wider Orlando chat as well, because actually I'm very aware. I'm going soon. Claire's going soon. Robin's following us as well. Ben and Becca are going cruising and things like that. So if you've got a question, you're planning a holiday, you know, put the questions out there. We're willing to help you with your planning. We might direct you in towards different shows that we've done previously, because actually we do like sharing that same passion for what you join us for every week. So guys, it's been an absolute blast, and actually I still don't like finishing this early, but hey, we could go on for hours and hours.
Yeah.
Until we meet again next Wednesday. Thank you to everyone in the chat for being part of us live. If you're listening to the podcast on Friday, thank you for downloading us. And also, just thanks for joining us. If you actually watch this through, catching up, because I know some people are at work in America and you do come and watch us. We know that you do too. So many thanks once again. And we'll see you soon.
See you real soon.
Bye.
Now my wheels in motion and my windows open with the wind blowing in my hair. I'm driving down